Akai Katana, Shin.
Welcome back, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about an incredibly underrated game, and that is Akai Katana. Now, the Xbox 360 release has three different modes: Slash mode, Origin mode, and Climax or Zetsu mode. And in this review, I'm actually only going to be covering the Shin mode or Slash mode. And the reason is it's really an entirely different game from the other two modes, and there's so much packed into it that the video would be incredibly long if I did all three. I'll probably do the other two in a follow-up video at some point. This game was released in 2011 in Japan and then was subsequently ported to Europe and North America by Rising Star Games in 2012. And it is just a lot of fun. But I think a lot of people are scared away from the Shin mode in particular because the gameplay mechanics seem very complex and convoluted when you first try to learn them. So while I normally don't do a whole lot of strategy in my review videos, I'm going to actually start off with this gameplay system and get you familiarized with it so that hopefully it doesn't seem quite so scary anymore. So if you tap the fire button, you're in defensive mode, and most of your firepower will come from your ship and less from your option, whereas attack mode, which is holding the fire button, will have more firepower coming from the option and less from the ship. Now, if you attack enemies in close proximity while you're doing either of these, you collect steel in defensive mode, and you collect energy in attack mode. And you'll need both of these to transform into your Phantom, which is on the second button. And when you transform into the Phantom, it actually clears the screen if you've got steel in stock, which you see the red circles around the plane, that's your steel stock. Firing at enemies in Phantom mode will then give you katanas, which you can launch across the screen for a second cancel, and you collect gold. So, let's check this out in action. So here's a look at the end of the tutorial video for the game, which is way too long. But at any rate, you see the ship here is coming in close to enemies, shooting them with the tap shot. And all those light green circles there are actually your steel, and then you can see it building up around the ship. Then they switch shots, and they're collecting the energy there, which goes to that green gauge up at the top. And that lets you transform into your Phantom. And you see they're building the katanas there. And when you kill enemies as the Phantom too, you get suicide bullets, which are those pink ones there. And then they're going to do a second cancel here by switching back. And you see the katanas go across the screen and release all of the gold, and that's how you score. And the reason you want to follow the gold there is if you collect it while it's large, then you'll get more points, and it gets smaller the longer it's on screen. So again, just building up steel there. And they're going to go for a second katana cancel here at the end with all of these enemies. And that's that. So now I'm going to show you how I play the first level, and my route is pretty conservative and safe. Now, one thing I do differently from the video that you just saw is that I get in really close and I don't actually allow a lot of these enemies to even fire. So it's actually a lot safer, provided you know where they're coming from. So I collect steel up until that plane that I just killed, and then I go to collect energy, and this last ship there should build it all the way up. And so I've got full steel stock, full energy. So I just kind of hang out for just a second, and I switch over to my ninja form, and you can see I'm killing all these little popcorn enemies, generating a bunch of suicide bullets, and then killing the mid-boss with the katanas there for a nice big cancel. Immediately go back to filling up the energy, because what I want to do here is fill up the energy first, because if the energy meter is completely full, then you absorb the steel much faster. And again, these enemies here, if you get in really close and get them quickly, they don't even have a chance to fire. So for the first boss here, you'll see I'm positioning myself pretty close, and that's so that I can absorb some of those steel orbs, because he won't attack immediately. You see this little circle come out from him and start shooting at me, and that's going to be, the beginning of the attack. But between all these attacks, you can actually get right up in there, up in his face, and absorb some of the steel so that you can build everything up. And I will have to admit that these ships and stuff that come in at weird angles look really dumb, and that's one of my few criticisms of the game. And be careful between attacks there. You can see you could get shot in the face pretty quickly. So just be sure you learn the boss attacks before you try to get too aggressive with it. Also, these red lasers here, if you see your 3 life points up at the top, they're the orange things. If you get hit with a red laser, it won't kill you, but it actually drains part of that. So each one's like a mini life bar. Now you'll see me switch into ninja mode because you can see the boss is almost dead. If you kill any of the forms or the boss itself at the end, you'll see here, you get a huge bonus of gold. So that's definitely the way you want to do that. Now, my routing in Stage 1, like I said, is pretty conservative. I'm mostly playing for survival at this point. A little bit of scoring, but you can get a lot more score out of that stage, but of course it's a lot more dangerous, and you really have to keep picking up lots of steel, lots of energy, and, you know, do that whole thing. So, do so at your own risk. Some of the boss battles in the game can be admittedly pretty brutal. This is actually only the Stage 2 boss. But just remember to use all of your resources. Don't forget you have bombs. And also you see the red lasers there again. I forgot to mention before that if you're in your phantom mode, that you're actually impervious to the lasers. So use that, use your bombs. And also remember to kind of take note of how long each phase of the boss is. In this particular case, you can see I used my katana attack to destroy this phase of the boss for the bonus. Doesn't matter if you do it here or at the end, but if you saw there the little marks on the right hand side of the boss health will tell you how long each phase is. And Stage 2, the first phase, is really, really long, so it also kind of helps just get you out of a tough spot there. Here's an example of me using the phantom mode when these big obnoxious laser wheels come out, and I try to stay in that mode as long as possible. And the reason I cancel out is just because I was really afraid that I was about to get hit by something. And that's one thing I should mention too, is that you can take a single hit in phantom mode, but it will knock you back into your regular ship mode, and you don't get to throw your katanas. So if you feel like you're about to get hit by a bullet, definitely switch back quickly. There are 3 ships to choose from in the game, although you should really only use the second one. And the reason is that the option is homing. I think the first ship, the option just shoots straight ahead. And in the third ship, the option kind of does this sort of sweeping thing. But the homing option really provides an extra level of comfort. And if you're using your attack mode like I am here, your movement's slowed down and your option's homing in on all the enemies. So that's really something that you want. The other thing is that you can aim the katanas, and right here's a place that I really should have done it. A lot of people do a diagonal upward shot there, which will get you a lot more gold and clear all those bullets off the screen. But nonetheless, aiming the katanas is a big deal, and you can see when I get them right there, well, maybe not. Maybe not that time. But if you move down, they point up, and if you move up, they point down. So can be kind of interesting. And I know in the world record run, the guy actually fires them from a corner at one point in a boss battle, which is kind of cool, like fires them diagonally backwards at the boss. So lots of interesting things you can do, and you don't have that kind of control with the other ships. This game also has a great soundtrack by Ryu Umamoto, who unfortunately passed away shortly after its release. So hopefully I've convinced you to give this game a try, and honestly you can get a used copy of it for about $10, so really what do you have to lose? So be patient, learn the game system, and once you get it figured out, sit back and enjoy that golden shower. You've earned it. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.